The March Ashes of Creation live stream is finished, and it was a very good live stream. We got a lot of new information about the story arcs and the way they tie into the node system. Also, Steven gave a very, very rough estimate of a timeline for Alpha 2, and we're certainly not going to see it until at least 2024. And I would not be surprised if it's even later than that, but that is kind of the rough estimate, as we might see it in 2024. So it's good to at least have some kind of idea when we might see it, and I was leaning towards that really since last November anyways, that we're not seeing it anytime soon, so it's all lining up. I would not expect to see Alpha 2 until we start seeing some live streams with a lot bigger systems being showcased, like the nodes, maybe some higher level content, because we're still only seeing level 15 content. And even in the Carphin showcase today, we saw the mobs didn't even drop loot. There's just a lot of things that are still missing in the game. So I would not expect to see it anytime soon. I think there's a long ways to go yet, which is absolutely fine. The next big piece of news, and I think this is even bigger, to be honest, is that we get 2 live streams next month with a Q&A with content creators Chibi B from the Golden Feather, Richie SH, and Submerg from the Ashes Pathfinders. That will be next Friday, April 7th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That should be a very informative live stream, and I am very excited to see that one. And then we saw the Carphin dungeon and the story arcs revealed. We saw what happens when surrounding nodes level up and create major change in the world. We saw a bridge that moved into place. We saw blood dripping from many different places. We saw corruption vines everywhere. They talked about how different mobs will spawn based on story arc progression, and how even the harvestables in the world will change. Some of these new resources will be rare and only available during story arc events. One example given was spirit bloom harvestables might become corrupted spirit blooms during certain events. We learned that most story arcs will repeat, but the major story arcs that tell the server's story will not repeat. Players can still go back and replay these story arcs if they miss them, but the result of these replays will not affect the world. We learned that story arcs will last several days and that players will get a chance to play through them in that time. We saw 3 story arc quests, which I'm showing on the screen. We also saw a few different mobs. The Hoarder mob, which is a mimic type of mob that looked like a treasure chest but then attacked the group, was probably the highlight of the mobs that we saw. And then finally they showed a new idle animation for the Great Sword and briefly mentioned that the UI does show the slot for secondary archetype choice once you unlock that. And those were the main highlights for me from this Ashes of Creation live stream. I like the stream, and I'm very excited for the Q&A we're going to get next week. Getting clarification that Alpha 2 is not until 24 at least gives me some clarity as to what I'm going to be doing and covering going forward. It certainly gives me plenty of time to play Throne and Liberty and cover it, and hopefully even PAX Day E. And yes, it's PAX Day E. I recently learned after saying PAX Day about 100 times in videos in the last few weeks. It's PAX Day E and not PAX Day. Now I know that, and sorry to the developers for pronouncing your game wrong many times now. With that out of the way, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.